Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to our latest series of our fun chefing times with Ossie. We've got something a bit different
Big
for
fan.
today, so hopefully we'll have people join us in a minute. But how are you doing today, Ossie?
I'm doing quite all right. It's a lovely day, isn't it? Really hot.
It's
It's so hot.
much.
I've got all my windows open, like, and the main road's not too far away. So if there's any stray noise or the neighbours next door hearing, that's why. But yeah, I've got full on windows open, aircon on, fans on, running. It's too hot.
Yeah, we weren't built for this weather. It's all very new and
No.
exciting, which could be a bit of explaining why I can see a watermelon in Aussie can. Something like
We'll come to that later. We'll
for
come
us
to that later. You
today.
didn't see that. Oh, that way. You didn't see anything.
Ooh, so exciting. Okay, so yeah, the premise is going to be Aussie will be we'll move we can move
Oh, I
Aussie
like that view.
now. Oh, that one.
That's cool.
Okay, I'm going to remove Aussie Cam for now, and yeah, we're basically going to introduce it. So Aussie, tell everyone a bit about what we're going to be doing.
Brilliant. Yeah. So today, this is either going to go very, very well or end up with a destroyed kitchen. I'm going to be doing what I did. I worked as a development chef a couple of years ago. It was one of the most fun jobs I've ever had because it was just basically designing and coming up with food on the fly. So we have to make some really creative and inventive stuff there. So I'm kind of going to try and replicate that, given that there's, not much chef work going at the moment. So I need to keep my skills refined and everything. So I've got I've challenged myself to make two dishes in the time, two vegan dishes, because I think vegan food gets a bit of a bad rap. Some of it's like a bit justified, I think, because there's some vegan food which probably isn't that nice. But there is a lot of really good vegan food, or food which is vegan. And I've got two dishes today. One is using these lovely, they're called king oyster mushrooms. You may have eaten them before, but you probably haven't seen them as a whole thing. Look at them; they're beautiful. They're kind of just like a cartoon mushroom shape. They've got these lovely stems and the beautiful, like you see how it kind of fans out at the top there. So I'm going to make a dish which actually uses the stem of the mushroom mostly. Often people will chuck away the stems of the mushroom. There's so much flavour in them. There's so much versatility with them. They just don't know how to use it. So I'm going to use a dish which replicates scallops, so that you get from the sea. Uses that, cuts it into little rounds. They look like scallops when you cook them up. And I'm going to be serving that with hopefully a little tuile, which is kind of like a crispy biscuit, and then a vinaigrette, so a sort of vinegar sauce that's made with capers and raisins. It's just a really nice combination of flavors. I hope. Again, I'm making this up, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. My second dish
sounds so nice.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to try that out. I think that's the safe option. I think I can't see much going wrong with that in terms of flavors. I think those are all flavors that work together. The second one involves a watermelon. Now we had a comment a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember who it was from, unfortunately, but someone was saying that there's no sort of savory foods that use fruit, and I said there's a tomato, because tomatoes are technically a fruit and they're used in a lot of savory dishes. But I think that's a bit of a cop-out answer. So I was thinking about it for a bit, and I wanted to try and replicate a dish I had, which was from Peruvian cuisine, which is a really interesting set of flavors and palettes. Like there's huge influences that go on there. There's Chinese influences and obviously like the South American what's around them flavors, and so they have some really unusual but delicious combinations of foods. And one of the things they're renowned for in Peru is something called a ceviche, which traditionally is when you take a fish or a protein, something like that, and you marinate it in a load of like citrus or lime juice or vinegars and stuff like that, and that's what actually cooks it. So you don't actually cook the fish with heat; you cook it with the acid. And there is a load of vegetable ones as well. It's not just a fish thing. And I know that vinegar. I know that watermelon vinegar. I know that watermelon goes very well, unusually, but it goes very well with soy sauce, which is an ingredient which again is used a lot in Peru because it's got that Chinese influence. So I wanted to make sort of like a ceviche with the watermelon, with some avocados, which are very Peruvian, and some lime juice and some soy sauce. And I've got the picture in my head, and in my head it works amazingly. and I'm so excited to see how it turns out. Also a bit of mint as well. I'm so excited to see how it turns out. So this is as much as a make it up as I go along. So you guys are in for the ride as well. Like I don't know what's going to happen. To add,
there's only one way to find out, really.
Indeed, and to add some jeopardy to it, I'm going to try and do both of them under half an hour. I mean, this is pretty difficult to attempt, even if I know exactly what I'm doing. So as I'm making it up, I'm doing under half an hour. Hopefully, I'll get it done. If I go over half an hour, I'm told I will have some sort of forfeit. Maybe Rosie, you could crowdsource that from
comments, maybe. Yeah.
If there's any sort of punishment.
Yeah, make sure that you comment below what you'd want Ossie's forfeit to be if he does not manage to make his dish in time. But the amazing thing is, Ossie, that none of us are together, so I will not be able to say whether it tastes good or not. True. I'm just going to have to take your word for it.
Well, so. Okay. Well, then what I'm going to do is after, if they work, I will post the recipes for everyone to have a go, and then try them yourselves and have a go. And this is also like this whole thing kind of like stems to what I really like about food is that you don't have to just do it the same every time. You can really be creative with it, and that's where you get like the most fun out of it. I think is by trying different things in different combinations, because classical flavors are great and they're wonderful and they work, and we all know they work. Like something like the mushroom one, I think is just very classical, straight down the line. Maybe creative use of the ingredients themselves, but the flavors are very, very straight down the line. Everyone knows what they're getting. But I think it's really interesting to try different things and just experiment in the kitchen, have fun. Like cooking's supposed to be fun.
That's so true.
So just have a go, and I don't know if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it's back to the drawing board. But it's still fun either way. So yeah,
that's amazing. Okay, well, I've got my timer here. 30 minutes. So I think if that's everything, we can start in a second. And if anyone has any questions during, it doesn't matter. Part of the challenge for Ossie is also being able to chat to everyone at the same time.
So it's difficult enough when I'm doing this on my own. But now I've got a lot of people to entertain as well. So there we go.
Yeah, so keep your questions coming if you have any. And I will start the timer now.
Right, okay. Do you want to switch to Ossie Cam? You'll probably get a better view over here. So first thing I'm gonna do, I've made like a little cheat sheet ahead of time because I know that as soon as the timer starts, I just forget what's happening. I've got this beautiful watermelon, which I got from this really nice fruit and veg. And I saw this and I thought, oh, I want that. I think this whole thing was about £8 for one massive watermelon. Beautiful. Look how beautiful that is. So what I want to do is just some basic watermelon prep. I'm going to probably don't even need that much if I'm only going to make one dish. That's probably way more than enough. I'm going to cube that up. So I want to take the skin off quickly, but also safely. But also I want to beat this timer because I don't know what the punishment will be. All right. Okay. So we've got the flesh there, the skin.
Oh wait, Ossie, we can't see it on the Ossie Cam.
Oh, you can't?
No, I'm not sure why.
Oh, is it frozen? No.
Oh wait, are you rejoining? Yeah. Well, I mean, we can kind of like maybe just hold stuff up towards us.
I'm rejoining it now.
Okay. Oh, we're just gonna add another spanner in the works to make it even harder for you.
Oh no!
So I pause it. Okay, I'll pause.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No. Here's the it's part of the challenge. It's part of the challenge.
Okay, we're resuming. Ooh, there you are.
Oh, am I back on? Am I back with you?
Yeah.
All right, let me know if it drops out again. Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, right. So watermelon, I've just taken it. I've taken the flesh off. So sorry, I've taken the flesh out of it, and I've taken the skin off. Skin, unfortunately, you can't use. So this would be a bin, but I'm just keeping it in here to keep my workbench nice and clear. What I want nice little cubes of watermelon. So cubes. I want this to be. You want to be able to like eat this with a single spoonful, like with it, as in like keep everything on the spoon, not have to use multiple pieces of cutlery. So I want to keep these fairly small. You can kind of see there. And chuck them into a bowl over there. This is so tricky. I feel like I'm being judged so harshly here. I don't know what's going on. Right. Got that. So I need little cubes like that. So I'm just going to use, which will soak up the marinade perfectly. Hopefully, that's the idea. You still there, Rosa? I might have hijacked the stream. Oh, there she is. She's there. Okay.
I'm just watching.
You're hidden.
And
you're hidden.
I think that it's important I don't distract you too much while you're chopping, because I don't want you to lose any fingers.
No, that would be a shame, wouldn't it?
It'd be such a shame.
Such a shame.
Then we couldn't do our live streams anymore.
No, that would be bad. It'd be very bad. Right, okay, so
it's making me really crave watermelon.
Oh my god, it's so delicious. You know where there's really good watermelon?
No, I don't.
Now's your chance to plug Israel Tour. Well, it's on Israel Tour.
Oh yeah, of course. That is a very happy memory for me.
Indeed, and for me as well. Okay, so watermelon, avocado, bit of an unusual one, but again, it's kind of going off that Peruvian influence. So,
do you have any advice for how you should pick the perfect avocado? I feel like I've perfected it now when I go into the supermarket.
For picking the right one.
Yeah, right.
You want it to have a little bit of a squish, basically. So I can sort of squish that, but it doesn't go completely to mush. So you often find with the green skin avocados, I find they're a lot firmer in a good way. Like they're still nice and soft, but they stick together. Whereas with the kind of black skinned ones are really good for making stuff like guacamole, and they mush up really, really well. I think these green ones are nice. Green skinned ones are really nice when you want to kind of cut them into a shape, because they will still be nice and tender to eat, but they won't be completely fall apart. So I just need to. Oh, I've messed this up, haven't I? What am I doing? I'm a bad day at the office.
It's the pressure getting to you.
It's the pressure. Keep my waste bowl over here.
Avocado has always been like my favorite fruit or vegetable, whichever one it is. Who knows? They
are delicious, to be fair. And they're also, fun fact, the source of the main vegetable-related admissions to A&E from avocados, because people people cut themselves when they're trying to open them.
Really?
Which I think is very, very funny.
So make sure that you are extra
so be
careful.
Very, very careful.
It's very important.
So again, much like the avocado, watermelon, I just want those into nice little bite-sized cubes. This is a dish, because it's got so few components, you really have to take care with everything you put in there. Make sure that it's all done to a really nice standard, because you haven't really got a lot to hide behind, really. So I think this is really a dish where it pays to take the time.
Okay, we've got a couple comments that come up, so I will
go for it.
Get them up. We've got Della saying, if the challenge isn't met, could Ossie have a Huller bake-off with Jess Baker when it comes to plaiting the Huller during LJ
Easy. That's not that. I asked for a challenge, okay?
Oh, you think you have the best Huller recipe as well? Well, I'm very, very excited tomorrow for the Huller making, so we will definitely think about that. I wish I could be the judge of both your Hullers, but I won't be able to eat them. But we could do which one looks the most beautiful and aesthetically pleasing.
Definitely.
That is so nice. We've got our Manchester Liberal Jewish community saying, look at this. I think they're sharing the post. That's really nice to see Manchester. Nice. And we've got Yoni asking, do you have any tips for multitasking well in the kitchen?
Yes. Stay organized, stay safe, stay clean. That's the best way. It's the only way that you're going to be able to do multiple things at once. Speaking of which, I'm talking to you now, and I've completely forgotten why I've gone to the fridge now. God damn it!
I am the world's worst multitasker.
Spring onions, that was it.
Well,
Spring onions and chili. Don't worry, guys, I got it covered.
yeah, I am so bad at multitasking. I can only do one thing at a time. So I
really
could also do with some advice.
Yeah, it's kind of just like the basic stuff that they teach you at culinary school, which is just work cleanly. Is the kind of the main thing. Like, it's very easy to get distracted when your whole workspace is very messy. So stay.
So
clean,
you tidy everything up as you go along, even though you're rushing.
Even though you're rushing, there's, I had one of my old chefs was like, there's no excuse for any kind of mess, and he's absolutely right.
That's so interesting. Yeah, maybe I
clean as you go. If you clean as you go, you'll also be surprised, because it means that at the end you've made your lovely dish and you sit down to eat it, and then you realise you got all the washing up to do. Whereas if you clean as you go, there's so little to do at the end comparatively. So I've got a little bit of chili as well, just going into that.
So do you just add as much as you like?
As much as you like. This is a very mild chili, to be fair. So it's, or as little, but that's a very mild chili. So it's more for sort of the color of it, beautiful sort of red color. And my spring onions, again, sort of the sort of Chinese implements. Spring onions, very used often in their cuisine as an aromat. So sliced very finely. But yeah, working clean is my absolute one top tip. And having something like a waste bowl or a waste bin near you just makes it a lot easier, because you don't have to walk all over the kitchen. You can just go straight to where you need it. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a very good tip. Let's have a little update.
Oh no, I'm scared.
So we have got just over 20 minutes left.
Oh, fine. Okay.
Yeah, you've got 20 minutes basically.
Yeah, might be fine.
20 minutes and 20 seconds as of a few seconds ago. We've also got another comment from Yoni saying that he says, "Oh, Mishpachah, loving it." So a massive shout out to Yoni and Martha's Mishpachah, because they are apparently having a watch party.
Nice.
Which is quite cool together, which is so nice. So
awesome.
If any of you want any other top tips questions, then make sure you comment it and we will answer them. So massive shout out. Anyone who's watching who's an LJY member and wants to be in a Mishpachah, then just send LJY-Netzer a message on Facebook. And a tip from Barry to say, be careful when taking the stone out. Which
yes, absolutely.
Very much.
Use a spoon. Don't use a knife. Use a spoon. Scoop it out. That is why so many people get admitted to A&E with avocado injuries, which, by the way, is a fantastic name for a band, avocado injuries. So you heard it here first. But yeah. So what I'm making now is something called, they call it, the translation is tiger's milk, which is essentially the dressing that goes onto a ceviche. So it's usually very acidic. So I've squeezed in a couple of limes here. I'm also going to add a touch of soy, which will just season it and give it a little bit of savory flavor. And I'm also going to add a touch of sugar, just to bring out some sweetness. Not too sweet, but just enough to season it. It shouldn't be a sweet dressing, but it shouldn't be so harsh that you're unable to eat it or drink it. A little taste. Oh my God, that was delicious. Amazing. Right, so that goes on there, and you need that to, ideally you want that to marinate for a good hour or so in the fridge, but obviously we haven't got that time. But it should still be delicious, a nice combination of flavors. Give that a little try now, even though it's delicious, absolutely delicious. I know it doesn't help that I'm just saying that, but combination of flavors. You've got a nice sweet watermelon, kind of the rich fatty avocado, which gives it a nice coaty palate, a little bit of spice. nice tanginess from the lime, a little bit of heat from the chili, and a little bit of saltiness and savouriness from the soy sauce. That's I'm happy with that at the moment. I'm going to finish it off with a bit of mint before I plate it up. So that's
cool.
That's the first bit done. This is the bit I might find a bit tricky. So before we move on, like I said before, stay nice and clean. Give everything a wipe down. Organise your workbench. Don't try to do too many things at once. That can go over there. You can go over there. You can go over there. Dishwasher. Right. Okay. I've got my little cheat sheet here, so it's going to tell me what my next thing to do is. So I'm going to make the vinaigrette. Now, vinaigrette is a very, very traditional dressing that you have on salads. It's very French. And I'm just going to make mine with capers and raisins, which is kind of, again, another classical combination. This is for the mushroom dish, by the way. This is the ceviche is pretty much done. So I'm going to combine some capers with a few raisins. I'm also doing it in the processor because I'm feeling very lazy, and I've also got the time.
Very noisy.
It's going to be quite noisy for a second. I do apologise. If you don't have a food processor, of course you can do this by hand. Just chop everything up by hand and then whisk all the wet stuff together and add the two together. That's absolutely fine. No worries there. And a little bit of mustard. So mustard is what we call an emulsifier. An emulsifier is bring together two things that don't usually mix. So in a vinaigrette, the two main components are 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. Now, oil and water, which vinegar is mainly water, don't mix, obviously. So we need to use an emulsifier, such as mustard, which will temporarily hold them together. So there you go. So I'll just plug it in. It's going to get a bit loud for a second. I do apologize.
Okay. I muted him for a second. There we go. Are you done? I can read out a comment. We've got Southgate Progressive Synagogue asking, how do we avoid a mountain of washing up at the end of cooking? So I think part of that was basically what you said before, wasn't it? About making sure that as you go, you're tidying away. Each time you're not using anything again, then putting it away, washing it up when you've got a spare moment.
Yeah, absolutely that. You got to clean. You got to clean that up as you go. Get rid of the mess before it becomes messy, you know.
It's very wise. And we've got Joe wants to know if we can get Kay to start making this. So those of you that don't know, our incredible Kay is our chef on camp. I muted him again. And yeah, I will make sure to reach out to her for you, Joe. Don't worry. Cool. Now we've got another comment from Bella. Muted him again. Saying, do you have any recipes for zero waste, e.g. watermelon skin jam? Which is really cool. So once Ossie has finished that, maybe he can share with us.
That's a really interesting question, that. Oh my God, that's delicious again. Again, I'm just telling you, this stuff's delicious. You have to take my word for it, but please trust me, it is. Yeah, that's a really interesting question. Zero waste recipes. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one because I've never heard of anything called watermelon skin jam. I didn't know you could actually cook with it. I mean, in general, we do try to waste as little as possible with food that we cook. But stuff like food waste, even though we might not eat it, if you have like a food waste collection service by the council near you, stuff like that goes towards food waste and bio waste. So it's wasted in the sense that we don't eat it, but it's not necessarily wasted in the fact that all that growing hasn't gone to no use. So I think it's an interesting question. I'll have to get back to you onto that. I'll have to research that. So I think that could be huge. Yeah, cool. Right, what was I doing? Okay. No, not the mushroom prep yet. I keep skipping in my list because I'm panicking. Right. It's wheeled. Now this is a bit of magic. I love doing this. This was a recipe that one of my chef lecturers taught me at uni, which is 10 grams of flour. Oh, don't play up on me. Oh, my scale's run out of battery. No.
Oh no.
Come on. I just need you to... Okay. 10 grams of flour to 90 grams of water.
Also, I'm going to show that there is an update. We've got just under 12 minutes left. So remember to post what you think his forfeit should be.
Oh my god, okay.
Or is he going to get there in time?
I've got 10 grams of flour in there and I've got 90 grams of water. So I'm also going to put in, this is something I bought in, but very optional, but I think it's really nice. It's a dried mushroom powder. So it's just dried mushrooms that have been powdered up, and it adds a really great flavor to anything you put into it. It's really good for like risottos or pastas or any kind of dish you're using mushroom in. Just enhances it quite a lot. So I'm going to mix a couple of pinches around in there. And it doesn't look like, it literally just looks like flour and water mixed together. It doesn't look like much at the moment, but just you wait. So what I'm going to do now is prep my mushrooms, and then once those prepped, we can go over to the stove and we can start cooking. So like I said, this is kind of going to be based on like a sort of scallop dish. Scallop's obviously a fish, so if you don't eat fish for whatever reason, then...
Yeah, I've never eaten fish before, so it would be a new experience for me.
They sort of... This actually...
Describe what they're like for people that...
A scallop lives inside, lives in like almost like a clamshell. It's not quite a clam, but it looks like a clamshell. Very distinctive patterns, and they are... The best ones are actually hand dived. So divers will go down and grab them off the seafloor, as opposed to them being sort of mass farmed or anything like that. And they can be very, very expensive when they're typically when they're in their peak season. They can be very, very expensive. They are, full disclosure, I think very delicious, but obviously not the only time I've ever had scallops are when I've not paid for them. Basically, when someone else has treated me to a meal, or I've had them via cooking them at uni anyway. There's a few spare, so I've always been very fortunate like that. But I think this is a really, really nice way of not pretending, but like just evoking the same kind of things you get with the scallops. They look very much like them. They obviously don't taste the same, but they have the sort of same purpose on the plate. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to... Is
that a Marmite jar I see?
Okay. I'm going to talk you through it in a second.
Do you love it or do you hate it?
I have no strong feelings.
What?
I think...
That is not true. That's not possible.
I think used correctly, it is delicious. Used incorrectly, it is horrific.
Love Marmite. We've got a comment from Saskia saying it looks bougie. So do you, nice, Saskia? Yeah. Can see your picture coming up with your bougie leopard hat. It's so funny. Yes, this is meant to be a very what's the word? What do you call it?
This isn't really like a midweek meal. I wouldn't put it like that.
Is it like a Michelin star meal?
I mean, if you want to describe it like that, yeah, I'll take it.
We've got a comment from Josh Powell saying, no offense, but maybe you could start with single tasking before you move on to the advanced stuff. Wow, that could have been a comment from when you forgot what you were going into the fridge for.
True. But I also agree with that sentiment entirely. Don't try and do too many things at once. Just do one thing at a time, but well. Okay, so I've got a second pan over here.
Okay. We'll go
I've got a second pan over here. It's got a little bit of oil. I've got my main pan here, which will be for my scallops. I've got my little pan over here, which will be for the little bit of magic I was telling you about in a second. And I'll kind of do it. And I might talk you through. I might just have to do it and then talk you through what I've done afterwards, if that makes sense, because it might be quite tricky to get this all off at once.
Yeah, that's fair. And also, because there is an update that we are now.
Oh God.
Oh, what is this design? I'm going to remove Aussie Cam for now. We now have under 7.5 minutes to go. Okay. So we will have a look at Yoni's question. What are your favourite kitchen utensils and why? Reminds me of the incredible game coming.
Oh no!
Utensil,
oh my God!
Which is an LJY favourite. And I've been playing it on Zoom actually quite a bit, which is proved more effective than some other LJY games on Zoom.
Right, I'm just gonna. If you just watch carefully for a second, I'm pouring some of that mixture in there, and it doesn't look like much in the moment, but once it cooks out, it makes the most incredible thing. And I've got my mushrooms in here cooking away. I'm gonna get some nice color on them. They've been seasoned with just a bit of salt and pepper. I've got this cooking away. It doesn't look like much at the moment, but just wait. Okay, that.
They look like marshmallows.
Yeah, they almost do, don't they? They taste very different though. I don't think you'd want this. You don't think you want to play Fluffy Bunny with these? Quite strange. So now I've got the nice colour onto them. Colour
they look
equals
really
flavour.
Cool. I've never seen a mushroom look like that before. That's really cool.
Where'd I put it? There it is.
And so yeah, I'll think about Yoni's question, because I think my favourite kitchen utensil is probably I think a whisk is really cool. Like I think that's just like creates something that you wouldn't, like a spoon and things like that, a staple, but a whisk can do crazy. Oh my God.
Ooh.
Oh my God, Aussie, that's so cool. You took me by surprise there.
Yeah.
Wow. That is so funny. Look at that. Incredible.
I hope I haven't burnt my laptop doing that. That'd be a shame.
Wow. I'm so impressed.
Awfully sad end for that laptop. Yeah. We'll get another one going just as well. So those are my scallops. I put a bit of Marmite on them. You see the beautiful colour it gives it. So this, I would say, is a good way of using Marmite. Let me heat off that. Put that in the pan. They are looking delish.
Wow, that was so dramatic. I love it.
I know. Good fun, isn't it? See, cooking should be fun. I mean, ideally, you shouldn't aim to burn down your kitchen, but if it happens, it happens, you know? Okay.
Bad advice.
Bad advice, yeah. Don't burn down your kitchen, kids. It's not fun. Just going to get another one of these going. Right, okay. So I've got my scallops here. I'm going to plate those up last. I'll start placing up my ceviche. So if you want to come back to Aussie Cam.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I've got my ceviche up there. I'm going to pick a bit of lovely fresh mint that is growing at the moment. Just there, give it a little bit of a slice.
Meanwhile, we have 3 minutes left on the timer.
Oui, chef.
3 minutes to go.
Got one final taste. Yep, perfect. I'm happy with that. Top tip when it comes to plating up, use your hands. People are very afraid to use their hands when they're plating up, but... Oh, no, I got the wrong plate for that. No. Right.
Oh.
What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm panicking.
It could cost you everything.
You see what happens when you panic? Right, I want that in there. I want that for that. You go in there. You go in there.
We've got an encouraging message from Yoni. You can do it, Ossie.
Thank you very much, Yoni. Much appreciated.
Everyone is holding out for you.
A little sprig of mint on the top there. And make sure to clean the plate. And there, that's the ceviche done. And now to plate up. Right, we want that to hurry up. Hurry up! Oh my God, why is it going so slowly? Not good. Not good. Right, I want that on there. I want a little bit of my vinaigrette, which has got the capers and the raisins and lemon juice and olive oil and mustard. Just want some of that on the plate in the center. It's quite strong, so I don't want too much of it. Don't want it to overpower. Just in the middle of the plate there. I've got my mushrooms on top. Just want 3 per dish. It's like a nice little starter portion almost. On there. And my tuile. Right, okay.
Okay, we are at the 1 minute.
Oh my God, okay, okay. I'm coming.
1 minute to go.
Give me updates every 10 seconds, all right?
Okay. You have got 45 seconds left.
Okay. I'm good. I'm fine. You're fine. Why is everyone panicking? I'm not panicking. You're panicking. Okay. Right. Okay. So remember that mixture? It's like a watery mixture I put in has now turned into that crispy tuile. It's really, really crisp and very, very
30
thin.
seconds.
And a touch of... Where is it?
You've got
literally the last thing.
15 seconds.
Mate, I am panicking.
And we're going
we
10,
we're good to go.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. What have you got?
Oh my God.
It's done.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Oh my God.
Give me a minute to catch my breath, yeah? That was intense. Okay,
really
so
intense.
I've got 2 dishes, both of which I'm actually pretty happy with. Which is, yeah, I'm happy with. This is a watermelon and avocado ceviche, and it's made with I've just seen 1 minute to go scrolling on the bottom. Done with what's called a tiger's milk, which is a mixture of lime juice and soy sauce, with some chili and some spring onion, and a bit of mint as well, just to finish it off. And then my second dish here is mushroom scallops with a wild mushroom tuile and which is this crispy bit on top, and a caper and raisin vinaigrette.
Wow.
In half an hour. Good Lord.
That was incredible. Thank you so much. Are you going to take some fancy photos as well?
I'm going to take some proper photos of these, don't worry. I was going to talk you through that. So this is a nondescript yeast extract spread that you may love or hate. So there's 2 reasons I put on there. One, oh look, that was the second one I made. It's kind of turned into that.
Oh, let me zoom in on that. Wow.
Kind of crispy. You get these amazing patterns out of it, and it just tastes like, has a crunch to it. You know what it tastes like is if you ever make pancakes and you have a bit where the batter at the edge of the pan gets really, really crispy, it just tastes like that. Really nice kind of like golden crispy flavor, and it tastes a little bit like the wild mushroom, which was the powder I put in there. A lovely bit of texture into a dish. Yes, so right, back to nondescript yeast extract spread. 2 reasons I put on there. One is for flavor. It's got a very deep, rich flavor, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, which you either love or hate. it also gives the scallop, the mushroom scallops, a beautiful kind of like brown glaze color, which just makes the dish so much more appealing visually when they're that opposed to really white, which they were before. The second one is, in a vegan diet, you actually don't get a lot of something called vitamin B12, which is a crucial part in any kind of diet. And there's not a lot of vegan products. In fact, I don't think there are any vegan products that, unless you add them in at the manufacturing stage, have any vitamin B12. So you are at risk of being deficient in that if you have a vegan diet. Marmite has a lot of nondescript yeast extract spread, has almost got caught out there, has a lot of B12 in it. So if you don't have, or if you have a vegan diet for whatever reason, make sure you have a little bit of yeast extract or some other way of getting B12. You can get it through supplements as well. But it is a vital part of nutrition and diet. So make sure you get it somehow. Yeah,
that is amazing.
It's a visual benefit as well as a nutritional benefit of using
Marmite. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the professional photos you take. We've got quite a lot of comments that I want you to have seen, Ossie, just because they're really nice.
I realise I haven't really paid attention to them at the moment. Sorry.
But so we've got encouraging words from Joe. We believe in you. Go get them. We got Ruth. So tense, you can do it. Saskia, you've got this so clearly. And we've got hurry. And we've got a well done from Della, like that you have completed the challenge.
Amazing, yeah.
We've got a comment from Jake saying that he's making cookies and the sugar bag has a rip had a rip in it.
Happened to me as well. You got to put it in a plastic bag.
Oh God, it can get very messy very soon. That doesn't help for the whole comment we had about how to keep your kitchen tidy.
True.
And we've got Simon saying this whole operation is slick. Cooking technology, the works. Yeah, which is really great. So. Congratulations!
Yeah, I mean, you joined me here in my specially kitted out studio kitchen. So yeah, like a culinary bar mitzvah.
Mazel tov!
Thank you very much.
And Della wants to know, have you tried the nondescript yeast extract with peanut butter?
With peanut butter?
Because they are selling them now with peanut butter.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Which I've been intrigued about.
I don't know if I have. I mean, this is where, you know what, I'm gonna name it and shame it. Marmite, right? Coming back to what I said earlier, I like it if it's used properly, and I don't like when it's spread on toast, because I think that is the worst way to use it personally. I know, I've said it. I've gone out there and I've said it. I think that is probably one of the worst ways you can have it. I think what it works best is as a flavor enhancer. So if you're cooking with a lot of veg, so with mushroom or onion soup, if you're caramelizing the onions before you add in your stock, add a little bit of yeast extract in there. It gives it an unbelievable depth of flavor. And it's got a lot of what are called amino acids, which are what make up proteins, and those where savory flavors mainly come from. So a lot of like the savory things that we like because they have something called amino acids in them, and this has loads of them. So it's a fantastic flavor enhancer. Myself personally, I think on its own, I can't deal with it. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. But when it's used alongside other things, or to flavor other things, or enhance other things, then I think it's absolutely delicious and can't be beat. So that is my very roundabout answer as to whether I love it or hate it.
Saskia's on my side with this and loved Marmite on toast. Thank you, Saskia.
I think we'll just have to agree to disagree.
I'm quite disappointed by finding this out, to be honest. But I'll let you go. I'll allow you this one time, because that whole 30 minutes was incredible. So
I'm sweating so much. I was running around.
It's a very warm day for it as well.
Ooh, I know. It's not helped. Not helped by that. It brings about. I had. Do you remember last year we had a heat wave where it got up to like 38 or 39, something ridiculous like that. And that was one of the days I was scheduled to be in the kitchen as well. It was. Every 10 minutes just had to take a break because it was just too much. So hot, so ridiculous. This isn't quite as bad, but it's definitely bringing back those kind of memories.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, thank you so much. So what we're going to do now is be posting those the pictures. I'll put them in the comments once Ossie sends them to me, so that everyone can see how amazing they look up close. And then Ossie will let me know the recipe, the method, and if you want a challenge, you can try it at home. Maybe not in half an hour. Maybe
try not to set
no
your kitchen on
time
fire.
limit. And be very, very careful. But we'll get that through to you. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And make sure that you join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. on Zoom for challah making with Jess, because that is going to be really delicious. You can see the ingredients. We posted them on Facebook a few days ago, so you can find what you need. And join us. Send us a message if you'd like to come. Thank you so much, Ossie. That was amazing.
No worries. Cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in.